Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Be here in November of 24 this year. We're going to have the most amazing live streams in November when Trump finally regains the Oval Office, and the indignation, the indignation is heard throughout the galaxy from wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrats when they learn that yet again, their greatest enemy in the world has won the presidency. Give me your thoughts below in the super chat. Thank you so very, very much. Your super chat is greatly, greatly appreciated. Let's get started. Trump will regain the Oval Office. He's already up over mashed potato brains by 1.3 points. He's already up. That's with zero help from media, zero help from Hollywood, zero help from social media algorithms. The greatest adversary, apparently, that's ever existed of the Democratic Party will once again regain the Oval Office. Because we had 4 years of Biden. People want Trump back. People want Trump back. And it's one thing to say that Trump is this menace to society and the world, and it's another thing to lose twice to Donald Trump. Okay? You will have lost twice to Donald Trump, Democrats. That's 2 times. Twice. You will have lost because, hello in Nepal, hello, Dynanadai, hello, SQ, Jigsaw, everybody here, Gloria, hello, everybody watching from around the world, thank you so very much. Your super chat support is greatly appreciated, everybody. You're going to hear Trump now speak, but you have to understand, we had record low poverty with Trump and record highs in household median income. We also had record low unemployment with Trump, and we had interest rates far below 3%. For mortgages, 3%. Interest rates were below that. Now you have mortgage rates of 7 to 8%. And you have real wages down during most of Trump's tenure. So, Falvey, hello! Straight up, dog. Falvey, hello. Thank you so very, very much. To my super chat again, thank you so much. I will do a live stream tomorrow evening as well. And I'll do a couple uploads in the morning and in the afternoon. Your support, ladies and gentlemen, is so important. And I do appreciate your super chat and your support via Patreon. Thank you. Falvey Pollard, thank you so very much. So Trump is up by 1.3 points. Okay, and you're going to hear him now. So we had record low poverty, record highs in household median income with Trump. Falvey, thank you again. To my super chat, thank you. We had inflation at, below 3%? And inflation hit, around 8%, 8 to 9% at one point? With Biden, when he said it was only temporary? Or before that, he said it was only temporary. Then they flooded strategic petroleum reserves into the country. But here, ladies and gentlemen, really quickly, well, actually not really quickly, Tim, hello. Let's go ahead and listen to former President Trump speak. He's in New Hampshire now. Check this out.
If you think that it was easy to get here tonight, you are wrong. That was, in fact, they said, the pilot said, sir, I think you might have to do it maybe another time. I said, I'm not going to tell the people of New Hampshire I'm not going to be there tonight. This was a little bit rocky tonight, I will tell you, but I'm glad we made it, and that would have been
Nicholas,
a pretty
hello.
big story, right, if we didn't make it. I mean, didn't make it. I'm thrilled to be back with the people of the great state of New Hampshire, with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots, which is what you are. As you know, last night we had a record-setting evening in Iowa. What a great place that is, too. The largest margin of victory in GOP history. Is that good? Is that good? And the previous record, as you know, was 12 points, so we beat it by more than 30 points. So that was really something. That's a long year. That's a lot of years. So we were honored by it. They're really great people also. The whole country is great, frankly. And they want to see change. They want to see change. Because right now our country's not doing too well. We're laughed at all over the world. This is not going to happen for long. But I do worry about 10 more months with these people, because they can do a lot of damage. What they're doing to our country is very sad. We were the first candidate ever to get more than 52% of the vote. We now have at a very special place. You know what that place is? New Hampshire. And I know that New Hampshire will never let us down, just like in 2016. You remember that? We came in here and we won in a landslide. 2016. It's time for the Republican Party, however, to unify, come together, and move forward as one team. We have to beat crooked Joe Biden. We have to beat him.
I love that. And insubordinate, you're right. It is fun. I love that. I love that he is a lot more civil, conciliatory, calm, gracious, generous. You know, I don't really care about political parties, but you can see that he's trying his best to get unified. I like that. I think that's great. Like I said, we had record low poverty with Trump, record highs in household median income. Inflation was far less than it was. I mean, interest rates were not 7 to 8% for a house. They were, what, 3% mortgage rates. And real wages were up. We had the Doha Agreement, brought Americans home, that Biden completely botched. We had the first president to step foot in North Korea. We had the Abraham Accords. Please tell me what President Obama's lasting legacy was. I want to know. I want to know. SQ! SQ! Yeah, thank you so much. SQ Tearhawk, thank you for being a member and for your support. Falvey, thank you. SQ, thank you. SQ, thank you so very, 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 very much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. And please be here, SQ and Falvey and everyone here. SQ, it's going to be amazing in November. That's why, like, ladies and gentlemen, I play the long game. A lot of times you'll see I'll be doing videos on topics that are interesting and important, knowing very well that this year social media algorithms will be tailored to essentially, let's say, try their best, their absolute best at curtailing the Orange Menace. SQ, thank you so much. Falvey, thank you. To my super chat, I cannot thank you enough. When you look, ladies and gentlemen, you look at this year, and you look at what we have to deal with in the next 10 months or so. Do you see 8 years of Biden? Can the country withstand 8 years of Biden? SQ, Falvey, everybody here, can the country withstand 8 years of Biden? See, if you ask a Democrat, oh, it's great, the economy's fantastic. Really? Have you tried to buy a home? in a major city? Have you tried to buy a home in a major city? Okay, so that's, the type of thing that Democrats, SQ, thank you again, and Falvey, thank you to my super chat, thank you. Democrats, what they do is they talk about student loan debt. And they'll talk about student loan debt as if, or one of the rackets is the minimum wage. And they'll say, well, Bernie's for raising the minimum wage. Yeah, does Bernie Sanders understand that if interest rates go up to mortgage rates go up to 7 or 8%, or from 3% to 7 to 8%, that people cannot afford homes, they can't afford houses, and that if you don't have a flourishing economy, or if you don't have jobs in the area that you live, or if you don't, let's say, study for a career that will make you money, you can raise the minimum wage $3, $4, $5. Number one, companies will just cut hours, so they'll cut people's hours. They're not stupid. Walmart, Amazon, all of these companies, if you raise the minimum wage, they'll just cut people's hours. Bernie is not a billionaire. So, Obi, hello. Bernie is not a billionaire, and he's never owned a business. Bernie Sanders is probably a good human being, doesn't really understand economics. Roger Wilco, thank you, Roger. Hello. I hope all is well. Happy New Year to you, Roger Wilco. Thank you. Happy New Year. SQ, thank you. Falvey, thank you. SQ, thank you so much. Roger, thank you. If you raise the minimum wage by $4 to $5, what do you think happens? You raise the minimum wage, do you think maybe, if you raise the minimum wage, then companies reduce the work time, so reduce people's hours, cut a person's hours, they work less, you're actually going to harm people in many ways. If you force companies to enact policies that Bernie Sanders wants, for example, they'll find creative ways to circumvent those policies. And then people don't have record highs in household median income. Sandro, hello. So we had record highs in household median income. Families were doing better under Trump. Families were doing better under Trump. Roger, thank you. Falvey, thank you so much. And SQ, thank you so much. Greatly, greatly appreciate everybody. Bernie Sanders focuses on minimum wage. He doesn't focus on why families are subsisting, or why families have to go towards minimum wage jobs in areas of the country that are economically depressed. You shouldn't be focusing on raising the minimum wage. You should be focusing on ensuring that families don't have to rely on a family member that makes minimum wage. Ursula, hello. Why doesn't Bernie Sanders, why doesn't the Democratic Party focus on why there are families throughout this country relying on the minimum wage? They care so much about poor people, but we had less poor people under Trump. This is a fact. This is a fact that people on the left don't understand, or Democrats or Democratic socialists or whatever. They care so much about poverty. They don't realize we had less poverty under Trump, and we had more poverty under Biden. At least Trump tried to introduce economic opportunity zones in areas of the country that didn't have jobs, that Democrats have completely ignored. Let's continue.
Our country is at stake, and we need to focus on all of our resources. We have to put them into energy and effort and defeating Biden and all of these radical left lunatics, what they're doing to our country. We can't let it happen. We cannot let it continue. We're going down, and we cannot let it continue. Last night, I was honored to receive the endorsement of a man who has become a true leader and earned the admiration of so many patriots. I've been a friend of his, even though we were competing against each other. But I was a friend of his, and we got along. And he was saying he's a great president. I kept saying, why is he running? He keeps calling me a great president. But he's a fantastic guy, a very smart guy. He's got some tremendous ideas. And he's young, and he's got some young ideas, too, and that's a good thing. So he has a big, beautiful, bright future ahead. Vivek Ramaswamy. Come on up, Vivek.
Let's do this, guys. It's good to see you. It's good to be back to New Hampshire. We miss you guys. We're going to make this happen, and you guys know this well. You know this man. You know why we're here. Patriot.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. Something big.
We are in the middle of a war in this country. That's what this is. It's not a war between black and white. It's not between Democrat and Republican, even in a deeper sense. It's between the permanent state and the everyday citizen. Between those of us who love the United States of America and a fringe minority who hates this country and what we stand for. And right now we need a commander-in-chief who will lead us to victory in this war. That's what we need in this country.
Vivek Ramaswamy is right. When you look at the Democratic Party, what political side is changing the definition of words? What political side is censoring people? It's not conservatives. It's not Republicans. And then Democrats say, oh, you're preventing these books from being read to young people. It's like, well, yeah, there are a lot of books that can't be read. That's not censorship. That's protecting young Americans. That's a completely different story. You're silencing people. Dennis, thank you so much. You're silencing people, actively silencing people through social media algorithms. Okay? And we saw that. We could not talk about Hunter's laptop. We could not talk about it 3 years ago. We couldn't even talk about the claims Trump was making. This is the United States of America. We should be able to have free speech. And so, what political side? They call Trump an authoritarian. You couldn't find greater examples of despots, authoritarians, and totalitarians than on the left, than on the Democratic Party. If you think differently, if you use language and speech in the manner that was used in 2016, okay, in the manner that was used for centuries prior to a couple of years ago, Nicholas! Thank you, Nicholas. Greatly appreciated. So kind of you. Gloria! So kind of you. Gloria deserves, she deserves that. Gloria's awesome. Nicholas, thank you so much. SQ, thank you. Look at Roger, thank you. Falvey, thank you. Look at, ladies and gentlemen, what political side has changed the definition of words? What political side has social media companies or tech companies making sure that you can't express yourself from a conservative vantage point? Not difficult to understand. I know that the way left-leaning pundits look at it, they say, oh, well, that's just the way that the private corporations, before Elon Musk purchased one of these private corporations, they're private corporations. They could do as they wish. It's like, well, okay. But they're run by liberal Democrats, which bolsters my point. You have liberal Democrats doing everything possible, or left-leaning, doing everything possible, Nicholas, thank you again, to silence people's speech. What political side wants to silence speech? It's the Democratic Party. We know this. First, they created a new Cold War because Trump defeated Clinton. Then they said that bots and Facebook ads swung 2016 towards Trump. There's not a shred of evidence. They say another country interfered and attacked our democracy. Where's the evidence of this? What Facebook ad swung people from Clinton to Trump? I would like to know this Facebook ad. If you ever ask a Democrat to name a Facebook ad from 2016, they won't even tell you. They won't even know what you're talking about. But then if you ask them, did Russia interfere? They say, well, of course they did. The whole point is that the DNC emails were not written by any Kremlin operatives. They were written by Debbie Wasserman Schultz and others. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. Democrats don't even have a functioning primary. They want to silence people's speech. They want to redefine words. They have no problem sending Americans or sending military aid to everywhere on the planet except one country I had my bar mitzvah in. And so, you know, a year plus 2 years in Europe, yeah, Democrats, no problem. Except if it's a certain very small country. No, you can't do that. So, and what political side is offended by the Stars and Stripes? I want to know. What political side is offended? It's not conservatives. Okay? What political side is always how do I put this? Vivek Ramaswamy is right in many ways. Okay? When you are an atheist, which is fine, Christopher Hitchens is one of my greatest inspirations. But if you're an atheist and your religion is politics, you're very likely a liberal Democrat, okay, or a far left progressive, and you think that you're secular, but your religion and your dogma and your theology is MSNBC, CNN, or whatever, left-leaning ideology you adhere to, which funnels you back to voting for Biden. The edgiest leftist on the planet now is always just voting for Biden. The second you have a left-leaning progressive or socialist or whatever that doesn't vote Democrat, that person is a Trumper, should never have existed, and should be very embarrassed. Earl, hello. So anyway, let's continue. Vivek Ramaswamy is 100% right.
You got to know you're in a war to win one. You can't win one if you're asleep at the switch, have your head stuck in the sand like most Republicans. And I think that's going to require somebody who isn't bought and paid for, a businessman, not a politician. Anybody heard of that? And that's why I was in this race. But I'll tell you, the people of Iowa spoke loud and clear last night, and I'm a big believer that we, the people, create a government that is accountable to us, not the other way around. That we, the people, choose who leads this country. And
why is it that Democrats are always so focused on a fabricated consensus, the opinions of multinational organizations, the opinions, not the, proclamations that, ordained by the good Lord above, the opinions, the viewpoints of organizations that have nothing to do with the United States of America? Someone says, shut down your economy, and Democrats say, how fast can we do so? I mean, there's the lack of basic logic. It's unbelievable. They shield everything within this cloak of, oh, it's for the public good. It's the greatest utility. And the opposite is true. They destroyed so many lives. They destroyed so many lives with shutting down economic activity. And then they printed more money. And then they said, well, eviction. AOC did not understand the duplicity in calling for an eviction moratorium while at the same time preventing people from working. People who were the average age of the U.S. labor force is 40 years old. 40, 41, 42 years old. The average age of somebody who lost their life from you-know-what in California was 73. Then it was 67. But you shut down all of society for what purpose? So you have no more labor force? They can't work, so they can't pay their rent? This is moral? And then you had, in every major city, house parties. People didn't listen. They all went to Costco or liquor stores. You're not going to stop people from living. And I realize that half of this country is so easily scared, so easily frightened. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. I just hope that when they try to frighten, when certain individuals try to frighten the people again, Democrats immediately will say, do as you're told from organizations outside the U.S. Because it's, and then now they won't be able to silence or suspend people on Twitter. Now Twitter will actually be a forum for debate. You want to know why Democrats and left-leaning pundits and, politicians want to silence debate? Because if you actually debated them, if you actually pointed out, if experts and knowledgeable people and people with the expertise to point out the lunacy, if you allowed experts who disagreed with a fabricated consensus of experts, always, championed by Democrats, you wouldn't have the groupthink anymore. Suddenly there would be a national debate on things. Democrats don't want a national debate. They want a fabricated consensus, and if you think outside the box, suddenly you are excommunicated from the internet. So, I mean, Vivek Ramaswamy is right. He really is. He really is right. Let's continue.
And so we heard we the people last night, and that is why last evening I met my friend here. We met in person, and I told him that I would endorse Donald J. Trump for President of the United States and do everything in my power to lead us to victory in this war. It is a 1776 moment right now. That's where we live right now. And you want to know, what does it mean to be a Republican today? It means we believe in the ideals of 1776. Ideals like freedom and merit and the pursuit of excellence. That you get ahead in this country, not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your contributions. End affirmative action. End DEI. We are done with the nonsense. Send it back home. It means you believe in the rule of law. And I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country. That means you're That is what reunited us after the Civil War. That is what won us 2 world wars and the Cold War. That is what still gives hope to the free world.
Paul Bartlett, thank you. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so very much, Paul Bartlett. Thank you. To my super chat, I cannot thank you enough, everybody. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so very much, everyone. Thank you. Paul Bartlett, as always, thank you so much. Falvey, SQ, Roger, Nicholas, Paul Bartlett, thank you as always. My goodness, every single live stream. Thank you, Paul. Greatly appreciated. FTJ, do you think the Uniparty miscreants shall ever face justice? I don't know about that. I do know that there's nothing stopping Trump this year. I don't think, FTJ, thank you so much. I don't think there's anything stopping Trump this year. I don't think there's any way for Democrats to stop Trump this year. So I'll leave it at that. I think there's no way they stop Trump. There's no way at all. There's no way at all. FTJ, thank you. And I think that is the greatest justice that could ever. Trump regains the Oval Office, and suddenly the Resistance 2.0, or you already failed at resisting Trump because he regained the Oval Office. So, and then Eric Trump, then it'll be Resistance 3.0, then, Donald Trump Jr., Resistance 4.0, and we can go on. I mean, it's like media, intel agencies, tech companies, people are slowly going to gravitate away from FTJ and Paul. Thank you so much, Paul, as always. People are going to gravitate away from the paradigm of thought on the left. Already, they say the generation younger than Gen Z is the most conservative generation in decades. Okay. People are tired of, see, the left in the United States of America today always votes for a person like Joe Biden, but then pretends that this very bizarre, warped, twisted, left-leaning ideology is moral and just. These ideologies were like an elective, like a course that you would take in the 90s that you just had to take to graduate. And it was like, it would just be like one course that the academic establishment and society in general wouldn't take that seriously. But, some points were interesting, but it was just like, taught by the most left-leaning professor on campus. Now it's not only mainstream, the government and, media and everybody is trying to gravitate towards this left-leaning ideology that most people, not only in America, but in the world, do not adhere to. You will find really hilarious Like they try to find these alliances with different groups, not understanding that yeah, certain regions of the world, that alliance doesn't work out. Because that is not allowed in most of the, actually a good part of the planet that the far left thinks, is aligned with them. But Paul Bartlett, thank you. Let's continue. FTJ, thank you. Yad, hello.
And if we can revive that dream over group identity and victimhood and grievance, then nobody in the world, not a nation, not a corporation, not a virus, not China, is going to defeat us. That is what American exceptionalism is all about. That is what we are going to revive to, yes, make America great again. Vote for this man right here in the New Hampshire primary. God bless you and your families, and may God bless our United States of America. Thank you,
God
New
bless
Hampshire.
America.
It's good to see you guys. We're coming back and winning this in a landslide.
Do you know Democrats or the far left or progressives or whatever? Paul Bartlett, thank you. We love you, Paul. Thank you. Do you know Democrats, if you said God, like most Democrats or most of the left, if you said God bless America, they would look at you, they would look at you with maybe not so much disdain, but almost like they'd feel sorry for you in a way, because they know that God doesn't exist, but, MSNBC does. So you just haven't reached the promised land by, turning on CNN or reading the Washington Post. Because, Trump is a Kremlin operative. Maybe one day you'll find out that maybe God doesn't exist, but the Steele dossier does, and it's true. And these are the people who fancy themselves the secular, logical, and rational people. And they believe complete nonsense all the time. FTJ! Do you think Vivek is Shiva who's taking human form to save the Constitution? I think Vivek is awesome. I don't know if he's God or a deity, but I think that Vivek is awesome. Thank you so much, FTJ. Thank you. Thank you. FTJ, thank you. I think that Vivek Ramaswamy is very, very, very articulate, intelligent, charismatic, very, very good at communication. His communication skills are amazing. He articulates very well. FTJ, Vivek Ramaswamy articulates, and he's excellent at communication. He's very, very, very good. And I think that because of everything about him, from being a successful entrepreneur, businessman, his background, his ability to communicate, his ability to explain populist ideas in a manner that forces Democrats to accept these ideas, or at least understand these ideas. The one thing that Trump is not the best at, he's very good at communicating what he wants to communicate. He's very good at communicating a political message, but not the details of the message. Vivek Ramaswamy is excellent at communicating the details of a specific message. So, he's very good at communicating the details of a specific message. And so, I think he's awesome. I really do. I really do. I think he's awesome. I mean, look, none of these people are perfect, okay? But he did endorse Trump. He did, you know, he did, he did drop out, which is a good thing.
We will not stop until we get this job done. Thank you all. God bless you and your families.
Why don't you own commercial real estate?
Thank you. Wow, how was that? Pretty good, right? That was pretty good, and he's a fantastic guy, and he's really, he's got something that's very special because he started off with a Zippo, and he ended up very strong. He did a great job. I was actually surprised when he called because he was doing well, and it's an honor to have his endorsement. He's going to be working with us, and he'll be working with us for a long time. Thank you. And now for sort of the opposite, in my opinion. As you know, Nikki Haley, in particular, is counting on the Democrats and liberals to infiltrate your Republican primary. You know that. That's what's happening. You have a group of people coming in that are not Republicans, and it's artificially boosting her numbers here, although we're still leading her by a lot. You know, as you know, I watched her speech last night. I thought it was inappropriate. But because it's bad for unity, it's bad for the party, what she said. But you'd almost think she won. She came in third, and she lost to not a particularly great candidate, obviously, as you've seen. She lost to somebody that beat her by about 2.5 points, Ron DeSanctimonious. So I'll tell you, we have these two people. We really got to get back onto Biden and beating the Democrats and not wasting a lot of time with these two. They're supported by some people that you don't want to have support, and the reason they're doing it.
The vice president, very interesting. Could be Vivek, could be. I think Kristi Noem would be fantastic. Who likes Kristi Noem? Let's ask here. Do you think Kristi Noem? Start a poll. What do you think? What do you think? You think Kristi Noem would make a good VP for Trump? I think she'd be fantastic. Jeffrey, hello. Startle Mouse, hello. The South Dakota governor. Even the photos, they haven't messed up her photos. Usually it's like Trump or Giuliani, or was like, wah, wah. But you know what? Her photos are great. Then Democrats would have to try their best to disparage a really awesome woman. And you're not talking, no offense to Sarah Palin, But you're not talking about Sarah Palin. You're talking about the very opposite in terms of media, like, being able to confront media. Damaris, I do as well. I think Vivek thinks possibly he could be the VP. He'd be a good VP too. He'd be a really good VP. FTJ. Trump's hungry eyes needs. FTJ. FTJ. I love it. I just don't see how you could defeat, because she's very, very good with media. She's excellent with media. She's excellent with media. She's very good at debate. She's really, really good. The Atlantic couldn't even disparage her. The government, usually the Atlantic would be like, the malicious, petulant, mean, horrible governor who wants to be the next Trump VP. I mean, even the Atlantic couldn't muster up enough controversy to go after her. I just think that, oh my God, there would be no way to stop. Because look, Carrie Lake is great, Marjorie Taylor Greene is great, but they actually create momentum on the left. FTJ, SQ, everybody here. I think that she would be an excellent, excellent candidate. Jolie, hello. I mean, the Atlantic couldn't even, the Atlantic would gain a lot of traction against some other candidates. I love, love, love Kristi Noem. And you know what? Dr. Ben Carson, brilliant man. Kristi Noem, awesome, awesome. Vivek really would be an amazing pick. A little bit difficult. It might be a little bit of a... They might find that he engaged in a questionable business practice and then focus on that forever, which could hurt Trump. Byron Donalds would be amazing. Would be amazing. Then they'd say, well, he doesn't have a lot of experience. Like, well, President Obama didn't have a lot of experience on the national stage either. Byron Donalds would be awesome. He needs to pick a vice president that media cannot devour. If he does that, just no question he runs away with it. Especially, I do think, unfortunately, I do think, unfortunately, we'll have a stock market crash. And I don't think that Democrats will be able to. I don't think Democrats will be able to rebound from that. I just don't think Democrats will be able to rebound from that. So, but yeah, I mean, you look, ladies and gentlemen, and it's almost midnight. I turn into a pumpkin at midnight, ladies and gentlemen, a bald pumpkin. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you all. I cannot thank you enough, everyone. Creating, hello. FTJ, thank you. Paul Bartlett, so kind of you always. Nicholas, as always, thank you so much. Roger Wilco, thank you. SQ, so generous of you. Thank you so much. Falvey, thank you for watching for so many years. Everyone, God bless. This has been awesome. You're awesome. You're wonderful. The most knowledgeable and educated and wonderful comment section, viewership, subscribers on this channel. I'm so lucky. I swear to God, I'm so lucky to have everybody here. See you tomorrow night, everybody, at around 10:30, 11 p.m. Eastern. And check out the uploads in the day. In Nepal, UK, Australia, everybody around the world, in the U.S. and around the world. God bless you all. Thank you. See you tomorrow, everybody. Be here in November. Oh, my God. Trump regains the Oval Office. The biblical meltdown from those who don't believe the Bible will be so amazing to see. Give me your thoughts.